Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my orchid and plant life, where I talk about orchids and occasionally the house plant. So today I am going to do something with my Cattleya Hippodamia that I purchased from Orchids Limited. Their website is Orchid Web, and I received this early May, so about 2 months ago. And I originally got it in a kit. So for those of you who don't know, Jason over there, he does webinars, I think monthly. I know it's very regular. And this webinar was supposed to be on mounting the Hippodamia. However, at the time, I wanted it to acclimate, kind of stay in my environment a little bit. I wasn't that confident with the whole mounting thing. And I am trying to make some space on a shelf for an upcoming order. So I am going to mount this lovely lady because I've had her soaking in CalMag for the last probably hour, again, just to kind of help her with that transition. She does have 3 new growths. So there's a new growth there. And then she has one, this long leaf here is also a new growth since in my care. And she has this one here. So 1, 2, 3. And I see a little nubbin getting ready to start on this larger one here. So I think now is a good time to transition her to a mount. I have let her completely dry in between waterings because that is one of the things that this orchid likes. So this is called a primary hybrid because it is a cross between 2 species, the Brassavola nodosa as well as the Cattleya aclandiae. I love that word, aclandiae. Now I know the aclandiae are the ones that usually have spots on their flowers, the leopard-like spots on their flowers, and I've seen several pictures. So apparently, depending on what variation Hippodamia that you have, you can get anything from, let's see, is it greenish, like greenish tinge with like some bronze on it, or you can get the heavy spotting, or you can get a combination. But from what I have also seen is all of the flowers have a deep pink lip that kind of resembles a heart. So that is going to be fun to see. Now this is a near blooming size plant, so probably be a few years before I see any blooms, but it's okay. Oh my goodness, she has a beautiful root system. Look at that. I mean, there are a couple of roots in here that are gone, but as a whole, most of these at the top are pretty good. I think the ones in the center are the ones that are bad ones. Let's just get all this bark off of here, or as much of it as I can get. So if you have trouble getting bark off, if you just take your fingernail and just kind of pinch next to it, it'll come off. And because it is going on a mount, I'm not too concerned if some of this bark stays on here. There's not going to be much cleanup because outside of these roots that we see here, there's not much going on in Repot. Most of the ones in the middle are already gone, as with most Cattleya types. So as we know, the Brassavola family is pretty much in the Cattleya family. As far as care and culture, again, you can grow this in bright to medium light. As with all orchids, good air circulation. I don't think there's a plant, whether it's an orchid or a house plant, that doesn't like good air circulation. Let's see, let those kind of air a little bit. And I was trying to see if I can find that little bitty root that I saw the other day. Yeah, there it is. Let me get all this out of the way so we can show you. But there's just a little itty bitty nubbin down in there. And I know sometimes you're supposed to wait. And then I am going to take off that cakey there. Not cakey, seedling leaf, sorry. I don't know why I called it a cakey. Oh, but that kind of separated itself. So there's one plant, okay. And looks like I have 3 in here. Okay, well, there we go. We have 3 and each one has a new direction of growth. So that's going to be interesting, and I probably didn't get a big enough piece of bark, but we shall see. All right, let me go ahead and get this one cleaned up then. All right, so I don't think we're gonna have much to work with then if I am down to 3 separate, because I thought this was all one plant. And generally, you know, you would think bonus plants, but I don't know. We'll have to see how each one of their root systems are before we make that decision on, yay, we got extra plants. All right, there's that one. And I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with the hydrogen peroxide so it can go ahead and sizzle while we are awaiting on the other ones. All right, so do that there. Let's look at this one and see. So, let's see if we see any roots attempting to grow on this one. Well, let's see. I don't see roots per se, but I do see another growth right there. If you can see that trying to come in. Well, the good thing is there's not a lot of roots for me to have to go through. So, okay, there's a new root right there. It's a little, let me move. That little root right there growing in. So that's good news. That'll get it supported on there. All right, looks like that one is done. Let's see, nope, I need to cut the tip of that one off. All right, and let's spray that bad girl down. And may end up putting her on a narrow one going this way and kind of setting them across from each other. We'll have to just wait and see. Like I said, wasn't expecting 3. All right, and then our final piece here is, let's get these off. That whole piece there. All right, that one. And you know what, I'm just gonna take this back leaf, this little seedling leaf, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that off. It was just kind of hanging in by a thread anyway. Clip, and we'll clip the tip of that. It's a little brown. And then this one looks like it is good down to there. And I can't tell if it's a branching root system or not because I didn't cut any branches off, but we'll just have to wait and see. And I don't see any root growth on this one either. Well, we will have to take our chances, won't we? All right, let's spray that one down real good. All right, and then while those are sizzling, let me just put my whiskers back in there. We'll move this out of the way. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. I'm recording this on a Sunday, and it's an actual beautiful day today here in Denver, Colorado. Currently in my living room, it is 75 degrees at a 50% humidity. I'm loving it. Of course, no one else is home with me right now, and when they do get home, someone's going to be, it's hot in here. Me, I'm comfy. Like I said, I am trying to make room on a shelf for an upcoming order. Stay tuned for that. Kind of forgot to take some things out of my basket. Let's just leave it at that. Did not realize that I had what I have in the order until I got the confirmation. So, anywho, let's see. All right, they've pretty much stopped sizzling. So what I'm gonna do is we are going to just rinse them off in here. I just brought this bowl just to keep from having to stop the video and then turn around and turn it right back on. Because it was a small orchid and I figured I would just have to, you know, shoot, 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 and we'd be done. Turns out we have 3 small orchids. So we'll just lay them on there. And I didn't really let them sizzle too long just because she has been in my care for, like I said, since the beginning of May. It is now the beginning of, well, almost the middle of July. And I haven't seen any bugaroos or anything in her. So the hydrogen peroxide was more for the cuts than for bug maintenance. All right, and let's move that. And then we will see what fun adventures we have with the mounting. And for those of you who've watched when I remounted my minis, where I made the comment that I don't like mounts, but now here I am mounting away. Well, that is because those orchids, the Hariola retriola, and the Sleeping Sulphur-nites, the Cattleya ceruna. There we go. Require a more moist environment, and they came to me on those mounts, and I couldn't keep up with keeping the mount wet or moist. So what I'm mounting are those orchids that like the quick wet dry cycle and can handle a little bit of a drought before they're watered again, just in case I don't have time to do it every other day or every 2 days. So I'm putting those that can handle a little bit drier period between waterings. Hopefully that will work out for me. That's the plan anyway. All right, so we have this piece of bark and we have this piece of bark. So this piece of bark I figured would be big enough for when I thought it was one plant. Now so let's just play around, because one option is I can put one, ooh, wait a minute, yes, okay. Look at me being creative. I can put one here, but then I probably would want to do it this way since that's the new growth. And let me just, yep. Since that's the direction of growth, I can just put this one here, let her kind of sit in there. So we can do that on that one. And then we can put these two, possibly, let's see, that's the direction of growth on that one. And there is the direction of growth on that one. So we can put these two on this one, like so. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna go grab my moss because I don't think that is going to be enough. It might, but just in case it's not, I do need to get my moss. I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and got the big bucket of moss, and let me just, whereas this I kind of went through and picked out what I wanted out of there. So let me just mix in a little bit more, because I do have a little bit of water at the bottom to kind of moisten it up, even though this is already pre-moistened. But this brand that I got, just as a FYI guys, this, what is it called? It's not the Better Grow, it's the, oh, I can't remember, but it's, this moss is horrible, okay? You have to literally pick through, like to find nice pieces, whereas the Better Grow New Zealand sphagnum moss is much better. This is just a bunch of pieces, and it works well for potting, but it doesn't do too well when you're trying to mount. So just FYI, and I'm trying to think of the name of the brand, but at the time I needed moss. It's all they had, and I didn't have time to wait to get it from Amazon. So all right, so we're going to do this one here. So let's just drill our little hole about right here. And again, this is just a little screwdriver that I'm using to get the hole. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's for eyeglass cleaning, or maybe it's just a small tool. I don't know. I got it out of my husband's toolbox. I doubt he uses it. He's only got like 800,000 tools, and he's probably got about 25,000 screwdrivers of different shapes and sizes. I don't think he'll miss this one. All right, and let me just get her started here. Wrong hole. So this already had a hole in the top up here, and I was going to put my beginning there, and then I realized it was too high. And then I'm going to leave this front the beginning part open so I can put a tag in here, because obviously now I have 2 orchids. I will need more than 1 tag. Wet dry cycle, so I'm not going to put too much moss on here. I am going to adjust the roots so that they are all under the moss though, and then let the newer growth kind of do its thing. And I'm gonna put the moss on first, and then I will secure the orchid, just because I don't want to break any of these roots while I am wrapping around. So, and make sure I get the moss up high enough so that that new growth, as it's producing the roots, will go down into le moss. All right, so let me just do that real quick and get the moss on there. right, and I don't have enough of wire. Surprise, surprise. It's another reason I like wire as opposed to fishing line, because if you didn't grab enough, you can always just add to it, and it's not as big of a hassle. Let me get that root so that I am not, there we go, I'm not damaging it. And then we're gonna kind of come back up this way. All right, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wrap it around one of the older canes to secure it, but I'm not going to do it too tightly, just because, again, we don't want to break anything, because these canes are very delicate. But I do want it on there enough to hold her in. There we go, that's good. That's all I'm gonna do there. And I'm just gonna bring her back down here. And then we're going to cut it off about right here, because I like to flip it through the whole thing and then pull all the wires together with the end piece. If I can get the end piece down here. Okay, there we go. And then this way it just kind of tightens everything as well. And any loose moss will eventually fall off, and I'm okay with that. There is our first one, and like I said, I'll put a tag on here eventually, because I have to put a hole in the tag it came with, and then I have to get another tag. All right, well, there is that beauty, and I think I'm going to do the same thing with this one that I did with the other, and I'm going to use some of my tomato wrap to hold that up. So I will mount the other one, and then we will come back and see how they both look and come up with a game plan. All right, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get the drill and I'm gonna drill the holes in here.